Hello, welcome to August 8th, 2022. It's a Monday. My name is Kurt and this is my daily good life meditation video. I do this every morning to make a little record of my last 24 hours relative to my life objectives and principles, which I will also categorically enumerate and describe. I'll also plan for the next day, the coming day, beginning right now. So last night and yesterday, not sure how the night would have gone last night. I did wake up about 3:30 a.m. When my daughter was up. She was banging around doing something. That woke me up in earnest, and I wasn't going back to sleep. So I don't know if that was me, that wasn't me getting up. So without that interruption, not sure if I would have slept to the alarm. So as a result, I don't feel rested. Also, I don't feel too good. Yesterday afternoon, I wasn't feeling good. I don't think I was sick, just tired. I don't know. Maybe I'm trying to just convince myself that because I don't want to think I'm, sick. I don't think I'm sick. So, no other signs, just kind of a general malaise and fatigue. Not a malaise, that's the wrong word. Just a general fatigue. Not a bad one either, but lingering. The kind of fatigue that would be wearing and make, and if this kind of fatigue lingered, this is the type of thing that leads to that sense of like world weariness. Something in my coffee. I hadn't used this cup for a while, so I should have rinsed it out before I made the coffee. Never mind. So I think I got some of the dust from around here. Dog hair, maybe. Anyway, otherwise, yesterday was good. Didn't have too much challenge. Chris was here. What was that? Little Rudy sneezing. It was an okay day yesterday. I mean, it was a fine day. Oh, my friend Andy. Hi, Andy. If you see this, turn me on to a new channel that I was watching Yumiko, and I watched about 4 or 5 videos of theirs yesterday. The Countryside, I think it's Countryside Japan or something like that. Really like their videos because they started off with a challenging house, the type of house that I would imagine Yumiko and I would wind up with, chock full of history and challenge. Okay, let's do the good life. My 7 objectives are as follows. Number 1 is to be living in such a way and to have my life in such a state that I'm always ready to die. My affairs are in good order, my relationships, and my life's work. Number 2 is to not waste time, but to make good use of my time, to be effective with my days, not to just let my days, slip through my fingers. I think for the most part I'm doing good on that. I'm pretty deliberate. Yeah, I try. Number 3 is to develop and maintain a good and sound set of life objectives and principles. That's exactly this good life creed that I'm reciting right now, which I do work on bit by bit every day. At least I touch upon them. Next is to cultivate good emotional reactions, to become the type of person who reacts well to what happens to me, to the things I encounter. It doesn't fly off the handle. It doesn't get led around by the nose of my inner man. Maybe it's my outer man. Yeah, the outer man that has the interface with the world. To not have him in the driver's seat, but have the inner man in the driver's seat. Next is to perform good actions, just to do good things throughout the day. And then to be always ready to die, make good and effective use of time, develop and maintain good and sound life principles, cultivate good emotional reactions, perform good actions, recognize true limits and true opportunities, that's next. And then to use apathy, to have the power. There, I finally did it. I finally remembered to apply that bit there. Apathy belongs there. To recognize true limits and true opportunities, to see what is and what is not within my reach, and then to be apathetic about things that are outside of my reach. Where apathy isn't not caring, but it's not caring, not being affected, not being, emotional. Like, I don't get upset about us being caught in a sudden downpour. It can be taken. It can take us aback. It can startle us, but I'm not going to be upset at that fact. Likewise, that happens in life. It's outside of my reach and control. That's good. And next is to perform. To do just one last one. To do just one thing at a time, and to do that thing slowly and deliberately and carefully. Yeah. Okay. Next, my 31 principles. First is the principle of war. To always be fighting against the things that I think are important and true, and that others propose to me that I should think that are important and true. I want to run them through the ringer. Using reason, which is the second principle. And the sub-principles of honesty, objectivity, and doubt as my frame of mind and my stance and my epistemology, basically, my toolkit. Number 3 is the Homunculus, just a simple reminder that I do not have a soul. There's nothing in me that will last forever besides my energy and atoms, my energy and matter, maybe, but reformed and reformed. But me, no. I'll be gone before I know it. And then after the homunculus comes the Anchorhold. Reminder that the homunculus is temporary, fleeting, and subject to oblivion. The Anchorhold is my consciousness. And then after the Anchorhold comes, sin and the home of good and evil. This is just a principle that I use to remind me that good and evil, right and wrong, are not absolutes. They're opinions that we hold, and they live within our heads. They don't pervade the universe. And then purpose, and the sub-principles of the sub-purpi, that is, of biology. I call it biology. What I would mean by that is my mission and mandate to be a good husband and father and to raise my daughter to a successful adulthood. And then virtue, to be a virtuous man, pursuing the well-being of thinking creatures. And then whatever personal purpose I set out for myself, namely the sharing of my story of going alone and the consequent development of the Good Life Creed, which is exactly what I'm doing right now. Making this video every day is the fulfillment of my day-to-day purpose. And then comes the atomic principle. Everything is in the universe is atoms and energy, including you and me, subject to change and dissolution. Then the principle of nature. Everyone and everything have a particular nature and a way that they are. It's good to remember that. And then comes the pirate ride, a reminder that free will is an illusion. What seems like the choices that we're making are more like the meanders of a stream, where the shape of the universe and all of the things that are happening, all the inertia of ourselves and everything around us forms how we bend and twist. There's a reason that I think that there's cycles in our days, cycles in our lives. We don't have a lot to say about that. And then after that comes maturity, and the sub-principles of wisdom and fortitude, which make up we are mature when we are wise in remembering our past failures and successes, and we're strong in seeking to do better in the future. And then comes the social principle. We need each other. Human beings are social creatures. We don't do so well alone. It's good to have a family. It's really good to have children. It creates something and it fulfills a kind of an inner mandate. Next comes temperance, a reminder to control my consumption, to eat, drink, work, play, everything in moderation. And then comes life will not go well, a reminder to expect speed bumps throughout the day, all kinds of stuff just jostle. It's like a stagecoach going down a bumpy dirt road with potholes and rocks. That's what life's like. Then comes the horror show. Terrible things, awful things, things that will haunt us, things that will kill us and our loved ones and our friends. Strangers all about us. The horror is real, and it's happening now. It's happening all around us, up and down the street. It's coming for me. It's coming for my wife and my daughter and my dogs. It's coming for you too. Gotta be ready for it as much as I can. Okay, after the horror show comes the Feast of Offal. It's what we do when we get upset, and we let the whole world know about it. And when the world gets upset, then we consume that. After that comes distraction. We spend our lives distracting ourselves from what we don't want to see, which is namely the next principle, the great indifference, the vast emptiness of the universe, the seeming fact that there is no God, that we're alone. So we distract ourselves with our work and throwing ourselves into our work and our family, our recreation, our hobbies, our church, all of it is a blessed distraction, so to speak, as we put some artificial construct of meaning up. And failing in that, at least a very active day. The hours and minutes are tooled away. Okay, then comes the best seat in the house. To not want to be anyone else or be anywhere else or be doing anything else, but to be okay with who I am, where I am, and what I'm doing right here, right now, right who. I love to say it that way. And then after that comes the Path of Wildness. It's easy to find. It's the course of a stream. It's leaves blown in the wind. A beast's track through the brush, and the direction of our first inclination. It's that off-ramp we take from one life into another. Andrew and I are, and his wife Chie, and my wife Yumiko, the four of us, we're on the Path of Wildness. Similar path right now, separately, but we're all four of us, just two couples, are making our off-ramps to a new life. It really hasn't hit me in earnest yet. Still too far away. But I'm enjoying the planning of it, and I'm attempting to document it this time. I should do a better job of that. I should make more videos. I should sit here and talk more about it. Put it on the playlist. The Path of Wildness. And when we step onto the Path of Wildness, that leads to what I call the next principle, a great life adventure, which is one or more experiences that we have in our life that kind of become a centerpiece. And you can have small ones and big ones. As the big ones that involve the wholesale character change and, a paradigm shift. It's good to do. Then comes the risk of avoiding risk. There's the deep level risk and the surface level risk. The surface stuff is I won't call it easy, but at least it's stuff that's not weird. School, work, school, career, home, family, and career. Savings and security. I say it's easier because everybody in all of our social institutions encourage us towards those ends. A lot of us focus entirely on that. And some of us miss the opportunity to explore the deep risk, which is the risk of not finding oneself. It's only a risk, though, if we're called to that, or not. Just not calling isn't the right word. If we're driven by our own interest towards that. If we're not driven, then it's not a big deal. Some people aren't. But watch out if you are, because if you don't tend to that, it'll haunt you all your life. So the surface level risk of security, the deep level risk of self-discovery. It's tough to do both and have a balance. A lot of people might focus on the surface level stuff and wind up with a very good, safe, secure, peaceful life, but empty. Some may drive for the deep risk and wind up with a very rich and character and life experience and life story, but in a very unsecure, risky, traumatic condition. It's tough to get the balance of both. I'm striving. I've failed. I've gone more for the deep, and in my life, and as a result, I have less of the surface, less of the security. But I'm working hard to put that into place now. It's costing me extra time, but so be it. I'm glad I attended to the deep stuff, because if I hadn't, I would have paid a price for that, because I'm one who is very drawn to that. Next comes sin and damnation. There are three broad categories of sin in my life: believing things that are untrue, being untrue, and gossiping. And to do any of those can lead to a form of damnation in the here and now. Itemized particularly, these are falsity, credulity, faith, superstition, dogma, authority, and gossip. Do any of those and we're damned. Damned in the here and now, because there's no afterlife to be damned in. Next comes complete oblivion. Remember that principle, the atomic principle. Everything is bits and pieces, falling to pieces. Yeah, we're falling to pieces, and it's going to lead us to our death very soon. And then a form of oblivion, because we're never coming back. Not this constitution, at least. It's funny, before we were born, the universe had us in store, in a way. I'm not saying it was fated that way or determined, but we were in store. But we're not in store after we're dead. At least as far as I know. So far, all what I understand so far about the universe. Okay, after that comes the season of philosophy, a time to record what we've learned along the way. Then the bullseye aim, shooting for the mark and usually missing. Sometimes really wide, sometimes just a little bit, sometimes spot on. And then uphill climb. Life is a steady trudge up. If I'm not getting up in the morning, ready for a energetic climb up, then I'm not living, even if I'm tired. And then uphill climb, arena and utility. Life is an arena for the development of our objectives and principles. Life is an arena for the development of principles in pursuit of objectives that we set for ourselves. That's how I want to say it. And next comes nothing is enough. A reminder to try to do less, do better with less. And then finally, the principle of fun. A reminder to have fun along the way, in the moment of now, anticipating the future, and remembering the past. There, I did it. It was kind of painless. Sometimes I have a hard time. Lately, I've been having a hard time with this. It's been on the waning part of energy and motivation. But that was not that bad. It wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. And the trick is to get through that meditation, not necessarily doing it rote, but actually exploring it and picking up the objectives and principles and handling them a little bit, trying to look at them from a different light. I think I did that a little bit this one. That was good. Okay, now today, let's forecast the day, the next 24 hours. I only have one meeting today, just a project manager meeting in the morning. So I plan to focus on that on the new schedule for the project. Then after that, no meetings. I'm just gonna focus on schedule all day. Schedule, schedule, schedule. It's a scheduled day for my big project. Then after I do this, I'll start this uploading. Then I'll read my Bible. Then I'll read one poem from Johnson. And then I'll get started on my day, feed the dogs, take them for a walk, hop on my motorcycle and get to work and start my day. Let's do it. Be safe, but not too safe.